We want to meet this day, yes or no? I don't do maybes, I don't do ifs, I don't do we'll sees. The first sign I get of somebody saying some dumb stuff like this, get on out of here. Red flag, you're out the door. There's hundreds of thousands of wonderful Filipino women ready to try to meet me. Hello and welcome back to Living Abroad. Today we'll talk about why do so many Filipino women bring somebody else on a first date, like a friend or a cousin. I'll tell you guys my personal thoughts, how I would handle it. Read some comments about what other people have to say, and yeah, let's get into it. Here's what today's story is about. Someone on Facebook wrote, why do some Filipinas bring a companion when dating foreigners and let him pay the bill? Dating in today's world, especially with the rise of online connections, can be both exciting and uncertain. One common observation some people make is that Filipinos often bring a companion when meeting a foreigner for the first time and may also expect the man to pay or cover the restaurant bill. But why is that? Speaking from personal experience, whenever I meet someone for the first time, particularly someone I've spoken to online or over the phone, I prefer to bring a companion, says this girl. This is not about distrust, but rather a precaution for personal safety. It's a standard practice for many women, whether the person they're meeting is a Filipino or a foreigner. As for the restaurant bill, I usually let the man pay. Culturally, this is often expected and accepted in the Filipino dating norms. It's not about taking advantage, but more about seeing how the person carries themselves. In some cases, it also gives insight into the man's personality, whether he is generous or kuripot, a Filipino term for stingy. Ultimately, these choices are shaped by both cultural norms and personal safety considerations. Dating is a process of getting to know someone, and for many Filipinas, these small actions help them navigate that journey with a sense of security and awareness. Well, thank you for that ChatGPT story, but look at here, man. It's not about money. I would never let a woman pay on a first date. I'm not like that. I'm gonna pay no matter what, even though for sure I'm never gonna see you again. But if I were to go on a date and somebody brought a woman along, I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Because look at here, man. What are we gonna do if you wanna go back to my place and have some intimate time? Is she gonna join us? That's what I asked the woman. So if you're talking to somebody online, number one, if they don't tell you they're bringing somebody and they bring somebody, walk away. I'm not dealing with that shit. I'm too grown for that. I don't need that. There's so many women in the Philippines that I can go ahead and talk to without trying to get a free meal out of me. Because that's what it is. Let's be honest. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, safety? What are you talking about? It's 2025, CCTV cameras everywhere. They got a chat history if we're going to meet online. And meet in public. That's the whole point of meeting somewhere public, so you don't have to worry about your safety. So don't give me that nonsense. I'm not going to be somebody that's going to be too soft or not have a backbone or a pair of cojones and just like deal with the whole awkward situation of feeding two people and may or may not see them afterwards. And look at here, if you're going to be that kind of person, we are different on maturity levels. If somebody's going to bring a friend, we're just too far apart. I can't have a serious relationship or even like a short-term relationship with somebody that wants to bring a friend or cousin along. It's not going to happen. If we talk online and if you ask me to bring somebody, I'm going to ask, okay, are they going to come back to our place after? And see how they respond. If they say, oh, this guy's absurd or whatever, yeah, so is your question of bringing a random person that I never met before on our date. Look, if we meet, we have a good time, and a second time, third time you want to bring a friend just to hang out as friends, she's more than welcome. But don't try to get a free meal out of me because it's not about the money, it's about the principle. I'm not that sucker, I'm not a simp. Bro, I don't need to sit here and try to feed two people in order to get a date, a second date. There's enough women in the Philippines that would like me for who I am. Whether I'm this guy, another guy, whichever type of guy you are, there's going to be somebody just perfect for you. You don't have to tolerate this nonsense. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of these comments. Someone says, personal safety, so why not meet on a public place with many eyes? No need to bring anyone. That's how women do it in Europe. This Filipino approach is indirectly accusing the guy of bad intentions, and why can't the other person pay for him or herself? They are very much taking advantage of him. One person now, if he pays, next time can be whole family and friends, so why give false hopes that you will feed anyone she invites? Unacceptable behavior. When does she feed his family or friends? Never. Yeah, just like this person said, it's unacceptable. I understand it's a normal thing in maybe Philippines culture, but the person, the foreigner is not a Filipino. There's got to be a mutual respect and understanding. Some people may be okay with that, but that's just not me. Some people might settle for that. Some people might be not thinking like big deal, whatever, I don't care. Some people are desperate like that, but some people aren't. And another person says, only the trashiest ones bring absolutely nothing of value to the relationship aside from their genitals behave this way. Feel free to entertain this behavior if you want to engage in toxicity in your couple as long as it lasts. The bill might be insignificant in the Philippines to a Westerner's wallet, but it says a lot about the kind of character you're dealing with. She'll be a dead weight that'll only drag you down and never lift you up. Thankfully, there's still a lot of very high quality women here, and I married one of them. She's never played the kind of games, never had to. She has been nothing but loving and respectful in the past 6 years. In about 6 years, don't fall for those red flags. 100%, that's a huge red flag. Listen, not every Filipino is like that. The desperate ones, the easy ones, the ones that are just basically saying yes to you immediately, yeah, they're like that because that's what they want. Exactly that. A good time, a free time, feed themselves, feed their friends. It's not only Filipino women. I've heard of a lot of stories in the West where women try to do the same thing. And then by the West, I mean Canada or whatever, right? Whichever country you're from, the country doesn't matter. If it's the Philippines, it happens often here, whether I'm in Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, whatever. Somebody wants to bring somebody, it's not happening on my term. Unless she wants to come back to my place. Yeah, it sounds trashy, I might have, but that's the whole point I'm trying to make. You see how stupid that sounds, how ridiculous that sounds when you want to bring somebody else into a thing that should be only two people involved? Let's read one more. It says, this is another bullshit post by you. The only way that this is in any way acceptable is if permission is obtained in advance. The guy is getting to know the girl and he doesn't want a third party listening in to everything he says, then passing judgment on it in private, chismes, to the girl he wants to know. My goodness, the audacity is profound. If you're worried about personal security, then meet in a busy location or bring your third party and have them sit at have them sit at an observable distance. Thirdly, if you're uncertain about your personal safety, you have no business meeting the guy in the first place. This is another ridiculous post. Absolutely. And that is my favorite thing. If you're too worried about meeting me, then I'm not the guy for you. You know what I mean? If you're too scared to meet me in public, then I'm not the person for you. Find somebody else that makes you feel comfortable. And this is just a ridiculous excuse to go ahead and just get a free ride. That's all it is. The personal safety thing is nonsense. You shouldn't meet anybody unless you feel 100% safe. Of course, you're never going to be 100% safe. That's why you got to meet in public. First time for me, whenever I go on my first dates, they're nothing. They don't mean anything to me. It's like meeting somebody at a cafe, at a park, at a restaurant. It's because I don't know you yet. I don't know if I'm going to want to be with you. I don't know if I'm embarrassed enough to walk on the street with you. I'm not going to try to treat you to a proper date. It's not about money. It's not about trying to show off. And those guys that lead with their wallets and always trying to please other people, that's what you're going to be in a relationship. You're going to be that guy that's never going to be in a relationship for themselves. You're always going to be following that girl, and not just like literally, but I'm talking about like in theory, she's going to wear the pants. You got to be a man. You got to stand up. You got to say, look at here, man. I'm going on a date. You want to come with me? Yes or no? We want to meet this day? Yes or no? I don't do maybes. I don't do ifs. I don't do we'll sees. The first sign I get is somebody saying some dumb stuff like this, get on out of here. Red flag. You're out the door. There's hundreds of thousands of wonderful Filipino women ready to try to meet me or you. So don't settle for this stuff. It is not something you have to get into. Like, this might sound harsh to a lot of people, but I'm talking about from my perspective. I don't know what I'll say when I'm 85 years old and I got nothing else to offer except for my wallet. At that point, bring your family. We're not here, you know? But right now, I got options. Right now, I got somewhat relatively middle-aged man, kind of okay looking, you know what I mean? So I do okay. I don't need to be doing that kind of stuff to feeding someone's best friend or just so they go talk shit behind my back. This sucker. Anyways, so that is that. Leave your comments down below. What do you think? Do you think it's acceptable? Completely unacceptable? There's some wiggle room in the middle there. Anything you want to share, anything you want to talk about, I'd love to hear, because this is the type of stuff that might be very different from where you're coming from when it comes to dating women in the Philippines. Once again, it's not just the Philippines. I've heard this happen in many countries, but I think here happens quite a bit more, perhaps, right? Because just the way it is. Like, if this was 1970s, 1960s, I don't know, 1800s, maybe that was normal back then. But today, with today's technology, advanced like CCTVs, GPS, your phone, track me, track this, there's no need to be worried. And anything, yeah, I'm not accepting it. So that is today's video. What do you think? Leave your thoughts down below. Anything you want to talk about. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in our next video. Bye.